Hey guys, I'm over here in San Fran at the Boba guys. You came to say hi. This is so crazy. So many people came. I'm so excited to meet all of them. Come by when you got some time. If you have some time.
Welcome to Community Spotlight with Simu Liu, and we are here to talk about your career as an actor, but also as a role model for the API community. So, I mean, first of all, congratulations with season 3 and also new season 4 for Convenience.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope that more seasons to come and bigger career paths for yourself in general.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I guess a lot of people in the States don't know this, but we're actually the highest rated comedy in Canada. So as far a lot of people ask me, oh my God, how long is the show gonna go? Are you gonna get canceled? And I think the answer is, without sounding too overconfident in our show, but it's pretty safe to say that I think we'll be going on for a while.
What kind of advice would you give for API creatives, especially pursuing acting?
Who are thinking about it or who are already pursuing it?
In general.
Yeah, I mean, I would say don't let your race be an excuse for not pursuing your dreams. I mean, so many people, I know we talked about, I do a lot of Instagram Live. I like to engage in dialogue with my fans and my supporters. And, one question that I hear kind of popping up a lot is I've been thinking about pursuing the arts as an actor, as a creative, and I just feel like it's so hard for Asians to succeed in this field, and I'm having a lot of doubt. What do you think about that? And my response is always first of all, if I told you that it was really easy, would you still want to do it? Isn't the fact that this is a difficult journey and doesn't that excite you at all?
Yeah.
The fact that you're literally breaking barriers, this is what we're all trying to do. It's really exciting. And the second thing is that I find it really, really disrespectful for people to have the audacity to say in 2019 that it's difficult to break into the industry for Asians. Because you know what? It was difficult for me to break into the industry 7 years ago, way more so than it is now. And then you think about veterans the John Cho's of the world, the Daniel Day Kims. We can talk about Paul Sun-Hyung Lee, who plays my father, Jin Yoon, who plays my mom. I mean, think about how difficult it was for them back in the day when there really weren't that many conversations about diversity, about inclusion. Studios were definitely not concerned with, greenlighting projects featuring Asian leads, and yet they still did it. And so for somebody in 2019 to be, almost whining that it's difficult for an Asian creative, I think is very disingenuous. These people worked so hard to create and pave a road for us, to create opportunity for us. And, people in our generation in turn are working very hard so that the next generation after us will have even more opportunity than we do. But I think right now, it's impossible to dispute, it's the best it's ever been for us. And is there work to be done? Is there progress still to be made? Of course there is. Of course there is. But, we're standing at the pinnacle right now of where we as a community, as a movement have really ever been. So it's an incredibly encouraging time for an Asian creative or prospective Asian creatives, and we should be working that much harder.
You co-wrote a short film.
A short film, yeah.
But also various others, I think one of them was about it being an Asian superhero, right?
Yeah.
And that got me laughing.
Oh, great.
But I really like those dramatic writing roles that you've written, especially you're playing the characters for yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
How did it feel to just pursue that type of not career path in a way, but that purpose just to write something, but also be a part of it?
Well, for me, it's proactive, and it comes from the same kind of DNA that Wong Fu. I feel like the mentality that Wong Fu inhabited when they were just starting out, which is you can't necessarily just wait for the right opportunity to come along. You can't wait your turn, because if you just waited for your turn, it's never going to be your turn. And so I've always been a huge advocate in being proactive about your career, especially for creatives of color. You know, when the opportunity isn't there, you have to do everything you can to create opportunities, which means as an actor, not waiting around for your agent to call to give you the perfect audition for your role. You know, sometimes you got to go and create the roles for yourself. So, you know, for me, for the short films that you mentioned, for Meeting Mommy as well, it was just, you know, it's just this idea that you have to create work for yourself. And, you know, I've been doing it at every possible opportunity ever since I started as an actor. I've been developing skills as a filmmaker, as a writer, and, you know, at any budget level that I've been capable of, trying to get these films done. And Meeting Mommy was, you know, one of the more recent projects that we did. I'm super happy with, you know, the production value with what we were able to put out. And, you know, it's on the Wong Fu channel right now.
Oh,
it has
yeah.
almost 500,000 views and trended on YouTube when it was released. So yeah, we're incredibly happy about it, and I'm looking forward to doing that more. So I actually just want to segue into.
No, go ahead.
So I started a production company recently.
Wow.
Called 412 Entertainment. It's called 412 because I was laid off from my job as an accountant on April 12th in 2012. So yeah, I mean, my company is all about kind of adapting or creating original IPs that are, you know, Asian American or Asian Canadian specific. You know, talking about our issues, our collective shared experiences, and just basically carving out a culture for us where, you know, there may have been not a lot before. Because I think that, you know, the whole concept of being a Western raised Asian is still kind of new to a lot of us, right? A lot of our parents came from the East, and so, you know, we grew up in very confused circumstances where we had to straddle two different cultures. And what I'm hoping, you know, in the future, as we grow up and we have kids, and, you know, the generations that come after, these American-born third, fourth, fifth generation Asian kids, is that they're able to create and draw on a culture of their own, rather than having to borrow somebody else's, or rather than feeling confused about, you know, having to choose between two that are neither of which are fully them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That we have of our, you know, something of our own. And I think things like subtle Asian traits is a huge step in the right direction. You know, we talk about the boba memes and whatever, but I truly think that it's an amazing phenomenon, because it's truly something of our own. And it's really like a shared dialogue, and we can laugh at the same jokes. We have a shorthand, and we have a cultural shorthand with one another.
That's awesome. Well, the last thing now is to ask you is, what are you doing now? Well, and also, what are you doing in San Francisco?
Yeah, I'm shooting a movie in San Francisco, actually. It hasn't been announced yet, so I can't say too much about
no, it's
it.
fine. You don't have to.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing crazy. But that being said, I do love the movie. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Well, yeah, what am I up to now? Like I said, so I have a production company called 412 Entertainment. We are currently developing a feature film with a network up in Canada for one of their streaming platforms. So we're really, really excited about that. I'm also touring universities. So I think I'm going to do Berkeley in April. I've got a couple of schools in Boston, going to Vancouver, Waterloo in Ontario in Canada. And just like, I love kind of meeting young kids and sharing bits and pieces of my story, whether it's, you know, from an Asian specific lens, or just from the lens of like somebody who grew up kind of defining success based on what other people thought or what other people wanted, and you know, basically failing because I wasn't, you know, in a field that I felt passionate about. I was very depressed. I, you know, hated going to work every day. And then to really have had the blessing of being laid off from my job and having the opportunity to take time off and really think critically about what it is that I wanted to do, and what legacy I wanted to leave on this world, you know, led me to become an actor, creative, you know, in this industry. And so it's, you know, a lot of what I do is just trying to tell these young kids, like, if you're not feeling engaged in your classes, or, you know, you don't feel like you're totally in it, like, it's not because you're dumb, it's not because you're stupid, you just haven't found what it is that you're passionate about yet. And you need to go out, you owe it to yourself to go out and search for it, and to give yourself permission to pursue it, because, you know, it goes back to, for me, owning your greatness, realizing what that is, and not being afraid to step in.
Awesome. Thank you for coming out. with this interview and hopefully we can support you more in your latest endeavors.
Thank you.